Hello there. This is Shawn113, your host for the Shawn113 podcast show, coming to you from Anchor.fm by Spotify. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening on whatever platform you're listening to, and hit that follow button for any episodes that this content and this podcast show creates. With that, there is so much craziness in the world of sports in the last week. I don't even know where to begin, honestly. And you're gonna have to excuse me. There's a jet that just came down, so where I live at, and let's start. Well, first of all, before I even do that, digest all of this and get it out of the way. Let me share with you my NFL top 10 going to week 13. And number one is Green Bay. Number two is Arizona. Number three is Tampa Bay. Number four is Buffalo. Number five is New England. And both those teams are going to play this Monday. I'm actually looking forward to that game. One of the most anticipated Monday night football games in quite some time. Number six is Baltimore, seven Kansas City, eight Dallas, nine Tennessee, and a tie between the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals for number 10. And I will put it on the description when that happens, of all my top 10 going entering week 13. Coaching carousel craziness is the only thing I can describe. The USC and Oklahoma, USC and LSU jobs. I don't know which one was more stunning. Lincoln Riley just all of a sudden jetting off to USC, or Brian Kelly jetting off to from Notre Dame to LSU. Oh boy, and both of them were stunning. Maybe in the case of Riley, it might be more understandable because Oklahoma will be going to the SEC pretty soon, and it might be harder in the SEC to recruit and win games there. Well, along with Texas, going the SEC in 2023, and just maybe, it might be very hard to recruit. It might be very hard to win. So he might jet us up to USA, and it might be a little easier for the Pac-12. It might be a little quicker to be a contender for the title, contender for the national title and the Pac-12 title. We'll see how it works. The Brian Kelly one was more stunning because they didn't expect him to go nowhere, and now who do you put if you're Notre Dame? You got the money, but who do you put that is more ready to go, has a winning reputation? That's a very hard thing for Notre Dame to realize that. You know, we'll find out. We'll find out as time goes on. Then you have the National Major League Baseball lockout that's just occurred, just quietly. Nobody. I don't think anybody cares. I think the players and the owners are going to fix something, in my opinion, before the season starts, or even before spring training starts. It can also go easily longer. Everything's entirely possible with that at this point. The next item up for biz is the Women's Tennis Association, who actually showed what kind of spine they have. A lot of it, than most leagues, than most commissioners, than most owners other of other professional leagues here in America. They took a stand and said, we're going to get out of China. We're going to get out of Kong. And of course, it's political, but the disappearance of that Chinese tennis player is certainly a factor. They simply won't do any business in China at this point, or Hong Kong, and I can't blame them. Why can't? And what we're going to find out if they now. Let's see how long it lasts, or they eventually bend the knee. I certainly hope not. But I got to tell you, what is the WTA? I applaud you. I applaud you for taking that kind of stand. It makes a whole lot of sense. I wish more companies, or I mean, I wish more companies, and I wish more especially the sports organizations in America, the commissioners are basically spineless, in my opinion, as well as the owners that I take the majority of the blame are the team owners of those sports. They're basically spineless, more spineless than jellyfish, in my opinion. But that's all I got to say about that. And then I'm going to go to LeBron James, which I promised this week I was going to go on with my previous podcast. Um, this is before that James was positive tested for COVID, and he's been double vaccinated from what I understand. I cannot remember an active athlete who is active in the professional sports world, goes out of his way to infuse hatred. And I know some people like LeBron James. I'm not even talking about off the court stuff. This is in court. Nobody's ever going to dispute that LeBron James is one of the best of all time. Nobody's going to dispute that. He's Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. And yet he gets out of his way even more so to just create hatred among players. The Isaiah Stewart hit. When I saw that, it was like it was more of a fist than an elbow when you look at closely, or kicking fans out because you can. He doesn't. He's so sensitive to people heckling him all the time without going overboard. Of course, if fans go overboard, that's one thing. But you cannot kick people out. He's done it before a few months ago with the with a lady and her husband. With that, he must. But boy, LeBron, you create so much hatred among at least half the fans. It's amazing. It's amazing you're the most hated. You're no wonder you're the most hated athlete in the world because you have no spine in being outside the basketball court. You really don't. And I don't care what the LeBron sexuals think. I don't care. But don't. You're supposed to be. You're. It's just hard to. It's just hard to like somebody that goes out of his way to court. And I think part of it was Space Jam 2, the big failure that it turned out to be. And it was a complete failure to the point that even China did not want any part of that movie in their theaters. That's how bad Space Jam 2 was, wasn't it? And it pretty much frosted LeBron to the point that he now goes out of his way to hate hatred. It's among many things, but that's one thing to consider. So that's one, and that's my take of LeBron. Take it or leave it. And I got to tell you, that's it really for the Shawn 13 podcast show. This is pretty much off the cuff, off the hand right now that I'm saying, but because all the craziness in the news this week alone, I just had to say something about it. So with that, thank you for listening to this content, wherever platform you may be, and please stay encouraged no matter what. Thank you.